YouTube was founded on February 14th, 2005 by Steve Chen, Chad Hurley, and Jawad Karim, and just a year later was bought by Google on November 13th, 2006 for $1.63 billion. The platform has amassed over 2.7 billion monthly users and is the second most visited website in the world, right after Google. The online social media video sharing platform has been around for 20 years and has stood at the top since its initial launch, going through countless changes, changing many people's lives, and inspiring many other social media platforms to change and grow alongside them. YouTube is for everyone. At least that's what they want you to think. Content has now been split from what it used to be. Now, creators are forced to take a side, focus on content for children to yield a loyal fan base and more money, or completely focus on content that kids can't watch due to guidelines to gain a higher following and more creative freedom. For instance, recently, YouTube's scale has fueled concerns that YouTube users are being radicalized via a combination of biased recommendations and ostensibly apolitical anti-woke channels, both of which have been claimed to direct attention to radical political content. The issue at hand is that creators are forced into content that will do well, because if they don't, they won't get views because their audience is expecting. And this can ultimately create toxic fan bases and hatred towards creators for having their own opinions. Audience demographics can be toxic and can lead to politics becoming involved with people that don't need or deserve that kind of attention, simply due to the fact that the nature of their content is not what a certain demographic wishes to watch. YouTube's algorithm constantly changes and updates, but there's always been a way to succeed in being recognized on the platform. Daryl Eves, a well-known creator on the platform, understands it better than anyone else. Content and feedback are essential. Your video should be done well, sure, but you must give equal, if not more, attention to your video's title and thumbnail, because they are the make or break factors when a viewer is deciding whether they will click and watch. This highlights the key important factor of not just YouTube, but every single social media platform algorithm. It's not based on a robot or someone else working in an office, but about the viewer's opinion on what they're seeing, not what they will see. Many creators will try to breach the algorithm with interesting titles with keywords in all caps, and funky colored thumbnails with relevant topics being the focus, even if it is just clickbait. The YouTube algorithm is based off what people want to see, and therefore, it will only push forward that kind of content, regardless of how good or bad it is. YouTube can be used for both professional and personal gain. You can post on the platform to monetize and make a career, or you can simply watch videos for entertainment purposes. Due to the nature of how YouTube is used, as in it has created a near endless amount of content, which has been enjoyed and recreated over the years, it has thereby established a unique role as a repository of popular culture creating a diachronic archive over time, as well as synchronically expanding in its scope. This archive of pop culture videos has impacted the entire scope of social media, memes, even now with brain rot. All of that stemmed from YouTube and has impacted people's personal lives, whether they've been creators or viewers. And professionally, users of the platform can use the videos for information or can even create monetized videos for useful information, such as news and academically relevant resources, creating a better space for everyone with different content uses and preferences. YouTube's biggest competitors are Twitch for live streaming and TikTok for short form content. YouTube has complete dominance over the long form content space though. Twitch is an online streaming platform, mainly for gamers, and has been number one for many years. It houses better streaming tools than YouTube and pulls in more live viewers for streams than YouTube. However, since Twitch is only a streaming platform, it cannot compete with YouTube as the best social media platform, as YouTube has content that you can watch anywhere at any time, unlike Twitch, where you can only tune in when streamers are live. And YouTube's biggest short form competitor, TikTok, pretty much dominates over YouTube with its short form content, being way more accessible and easy to use, with better ways of monetization and an easier to understand and take advantage of algorithm. It completely eliminates YouTube Shorts being a viable way for new creators to monetize their content and create new trends. However, YouTube still stands as the most used social media video streaming platform out of all of them, despite its competitors being the better in their fields, having hundreds of times more monthly users than the other two platforms combined. The content guidelines that must be followed on YouTube have really changed a lot in the past few years. It used to be relaxed and relatively unregulated, but now they have multiple systems in place to make sure these strict guidelines are always maintained and followed. And creators are punished with strikes if they do not uphold these rules and guidelines, which that can be damaging for a lot of creators and their lives. Based on a creator's personality, the content guidelines will decide on how well they get treated. For instance, if they are a family-friendly content creator, they will be treated well. Personalities matter more than anything to keep within the guidelines, as the most subscribed channels are less likely to deal with trouble on the platform. Since subscribing to a channel requires a YouTube account, this category represents more than a one-time endorsement of a single video. Rather, subscribing to a particular channel demonstrates that a user desires a continued relationship with that YouTube personality. However, this can be damaging for the platform's smaller creators and create an uproar in communities, especially in the world of esports, where YouTube is most prominent. The vagueness of the guidelines can also hurt the monetization of videos and the communities of smaller creators, as stated by Suzanne Koff. The examination of the concordance lines of content that shown that 60% thereof contain at least 8 forms of vagueness regarding what YouTube considers advertisement-friendly content and the monetizability of particular content. This vagueness is bad for YouTube's rep as a form of career and can create issues and force people to leave the platform. Overall, the governance is poor. YouTube is a great social media video platform. However, it comes with many issues and lacks in a lot of areas that I think makes it a less viable place for many people. It has incredible potential to be the longest lasting platform, and it probably will, but perchance changes do need to be